All right then. Welcome everyone to the live stream that I'll be doing. I am back in the Fury Crossroad, but I am not talking to Ron for a while at this point. Because I want Ron to try to know what he did wrong and not try to do the same later on. So I may not talk to him for a year. So let's say, talk about Nightmare Killer and what is it about. Nightmare Killer is mostly a story that happened 3 years after the Fury crossover. Sadly, I know you guys will not be hearing this the time it'll be finished, but same time, yes. Um, Another thing is that the person who will be telling the story in the end of the story, I have not made it yet. Well, sorry about that. I got interrupted by someone. Like I was saying, and they, that there'll be someone saying the story. It's not just a series that's gonna happen. It's mostly if you ever saw the Book of Life, the movie. It's mostly of someone telling the story, and you will see in the end of the Nightmare Killer who was telling the story. I'm not gonna really out kind of trying to spoil too much about it, and people may asking where to take place exactly. Nightmare Killer takes place, like I said, 5 years in further, but the location where this place is will be in Los Angeles. Actually, Los Angeles will be in episode 3. I so scheduled that. But the first episode that is ready, but the voice lines are still not in, will take place, and you may not like where I'm gonna put this in, but I'm gonna change it maybe to Canada a little bit. But I'm actually planning to be in Russia. But now I'm thinking Canada because there was a war going on, and I did not want that war, and I don't want people to get upset because I put the place in Russia. That right now it's a war of Ukraine war, those things. And now just realizing um how there's over there. I cannot put in Russia at this point. I saw almost you change it to Canada. And you may be asking, is Ron gonna be in here? I was thinking of putting Ron in here, but after what happened a few days ago, or was it last week, I decided to not put him in here yet. He will be appearing in here, but just as a hologram, he's not actually his OC, aka the Kill Powers. Because I'm trying to make this friendly. Because at first I was thinking of it was either Ron or Samantha. This universe Samantha that was gonna die. Because like Ron said a long time ago, that Samantha was gonna die in the Fury crossover. But since like Ron did in the past, he um he messed up time, and that what in Nightmare Killer you may see in the first Avatar that Strike's sister is alive. You may be saying, who is Strike's sister and what happened to her in the past? Strike's sister was not alive during back then. If you see in the first thing or the first preview, Strike was with his sister at the time. That I do have. That was just a preview. Remember, that was just a plot thing. That was just give you guys an idea of how it's gonna go. That I'll be not remaking sadly, but that person or Strike's sister was not alive back then. That was mostly a how you say this? that time was during the 90s. And 90s didn't have a lot of airplanes. It was during the 1950s. Okay, so like I was saying, um, yeah, this is my little brother came in the room. I had to talk to him something. Yeah, mostly structure was dead during back then because during if we saw in the, I do have to remake it because I'm not trying to make something, and it do show. Let's see if I can find the image. And I am not going to Discord. It's just this image is sent to Ron, but I do have it here. One minute. Mostly this image of the between of the, if you could see here, this is the teenager, and you will see this form of strike, but not as the same that you will see in a Fury crossover, because this is mostly when they were children's. And I felt too wrong about this before the argument started, everything all started, that Strike's head will be turning white at this point. And this is the sort of difference of the kidded ones, the kids, and then the adult versions. You see the difference. This is spoilers, yes, to how it's gonna look. And there will be some episode of featuring what happened in the past of kid past, but that'll be mostly in episode 3 or 4. And like I was saying, Omega have killed Strike parents in the past, but Strike parents were killed later on 100 years ago before Omega attack try to capture Strike in those days. And during back then, it was rough for Strike because he was just a kid, Nanoi, and was trained by John to keep hunger down. But since John died, Strike has been feeding on people during the years, and um, Ron the Killer Powers in his series, he never know about Strike. He never know because he never went into information of the watch. The watch was built during back then, but it was futuristic because John apparently had went back in the future, or made someone send him the watch. And Strike's sister, yes, it is. John is mostly Strike's brother-in-law because John's girlfriend is another version of Samantha. Because Ron is legit John during that, but it was like the first girl power. Nothing. Strike's sister that I still have not finished the name yet. Ron, when Ron cools down, I have to talk about him. What was her name? Strike's sister Sally in there. But during back then it was rough. And most of the time, most of the episode of will take in the US, mostly around the US everywhere, mostly flying across the Atlantic Ocean. Strike will be it's that's a hobby for Strike of flying around flying freely at Mach 3. Mach 3 is saying you break the sound barriers 3 times if you ever heard history and those things. And Strike, every time he turns, he does G loads, but it does not affect them because Strike at this point, he does not, because he's been doing this for years, many years already. He's been flying for many years and could turn really fast and not feel pain and those things. Also, what it's mostly about is about telling the story between how Shrike met his mate or girlfriend that he probably thought she died by Omega. And we're not talking about Hollow. No, no, no. It's not Hollow. Even I said in the past, it was Hollow, but not anymore. It's not Hollow at this point. It's just a regular. I call it a. If you ever saw a Ghidorah comic before, that there was a galaxy to Ghidorah apparently. I still have not figured out the name of that thing yet, but I'm gonna took that and put it in here as a species of what Delta is gonna be. That's just the name that sent and and you may ask who are the voice actors. I'm not gonna say who they are yet. They'll only appear when the end credits starts in the when the series over, and the series will be only 10 episodes long. Like I said, it's a remake of Dragon Wolf. But Dragon Wolf it's not gonna have the same thing what Dragon Wolf should have. Just a remake series to make my creativity a little more better. And mostly because Ron forced me to do this again. I don't know why. And at this point, and no, Shrike does die. He does die. But if you read the index of Boron didn't put in his thing because he is sometimes he does not put this thing. But in the bio of Strike does say that he can if he dies he'll come back later on. Cause every time he dies, he just turns to an orb and just remakes his body again. He doesn't like die officially. The only time he could die will be maybe in season 2 that I still have not published. I'm gonna try and spoil the next season that maybe put the rest. And also in the end of the story, end of episode 10, will show because a lot of people were asking me about this. And this was mentioned in Dragon Wolf of a few episode. Are there gonna be children? At least one daughter. That's what mostly I've made right now. At least one daughter will be mentioned in episode 10. And they will look similar to the parents, but not that similar because they're gonna look a bit more different. But you can only imagine Shrike and Delta having a child at this point. And no, they're not gonna be like what Ron said, put inappropriate things. Because it's a kid friendly thing. Because Ron said that he won't do it in the free crossover, but at this point, because Hollow is not Strike girlfriend, I decided to not to cancel that. No, kind of having Hollow a wolf and a dragon make it without be something really awful at this point. For mentioning like different dragon species or wyvern to mate because they're even though they're different species, they're part of the same family and those things. And right now, I'm going to delay some of the free crossover episode. I'm gonna start remaking it, and Ron will not be playing the lines at this point because he does piss me off a little. But like I was saying, and the year Ron have not published that. I don't know if you studied yet, but year mostly will be around 2042. Around 2042. And yeah, that is like at least 20 years from right now time. So it may show a little future. And also, just to make sure there may be some game footage, but that's only of Strike riding his own jet, apparently. Because Strike does own jet, sadly. Because, he could buy everything at this point because he could make millions of dollars by electricity and providing the whole city with electric and those things. But yes, there will be a child in there. That Strike would have a daughter in there. I've still not decided the name yet, so I'm still working on that. And right now, because we're waiting 15 minutes, it may be too long. I may spoil all things. I will be ending this here. Just go to my channel and and there'll be one video of me and one voice actors talking about it, or she may be asking me questions. But right now, I'll leave you guys now for Anne, and I hope you guys follow the adventures of the freeway crossover and Nami Killer, even the Killer Powers. I am putting wrong thing, even though I am pissed at him, and Sonic the Hedgehog series. Mostly just check out Sonic series. It's actually pretty good. I was thinking of at first of Sonic making like a avatar thing, but I didn't feel it. He's just a drawer. Sonic's a drawer, not animator yet. He's still learning how to do animation, so he's not gonna 3D my own dragon form. So right now, I'll see you guys in the next live stream if I could make another one in this episode. Adios.